I'm Katja Williams, the Rural Mum, and today we're going to start slowing things down a little bit with myself. I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant with baby number 3. I'm listening to my body, and so I won't be doing some of the morning jobs that I would be, which is slightly more labour intensive, such as the feed run, lifting those heavy buckets and feed sacks. So slowing down. So this morning we're going to go into some mulching of our orchard, and over the last couple of days and again this afternoon I'll be doing more homesteading, which would include making of preserves. So we've been making tomato relish, bolognese sauce, chili jam, and so I'll take and show you all of that. But for now I'm going to whack on my belly band and get stuck into this orchard. Come along with me. So this is the lucerne hay that we are going to be putting around our orchard plants today. It is some of the quality lucerne hay that we make here on the property using our centre pivot irrigation system. So just having a quick look at that as it's on the front of the tractor. We have done one tree already right next to the tractor here, which is the apple we looked at. So only another 17 trees and 2 bushes to go. So here we are mulching the other apple trees. It's really important to be mulching our garden, particularly before summer and during summer as the current mulch starts to disintegrate and move away. Mulching stops the topsoil drying out. It also helps retain the moisture, which can reduce watering for this month. It stops the grass and some of the other weeds growing up around closer to the bases of the tree, which can give it more time. It's creating that stable base. Here I am joined by my eldest son, Eddie. It's fantastic to get the kids involved in all these tasks, and here comes the cat to also join us. So what I've found when doing similar tasks in the garden or down the farm is if I can find something for the boys to help them interact with me, help them do the job, they want to be involved, they want to help. So a mini wheelbarrow where he can take a leaf of hay and join in to help with the gardening helps. It's the same for our youngest Mac when he joins in. They love having a go. They have their own gardening tools for when we're doing our own veggie garden, and that all helps along the way. So here we are loading up the hay. I'm about to head off to some trees further out of shot. So this mulch here is left over from the mulching that we did before Christmas, and so some of it has held up really well and the rest of it needs replacing. So we're just going to pull these biscuits of lucerne hay into some sections to manipulate it around the plant to make sure we're storing that moisture, because here in our hot climates, if we're needing to really keep up on watering, we water differently in Dubbo. We have to water around the plant first and then on the plant, and that stops the moisture from being drawn away from the plant. We are heading to the western side of our orchard now. Eddie has been a fantastic help. This is our pear tree. Eddie always likes to check it for fruit, whether it is or isn't in season, do a quick inspection, and then hands out his little wheelbarrow full of hay. Again, we're using lucerne hay here. Previously in the season, what we put out before Christmas was straw without any seed base or anything in it, so that's really good. It did a great job. We like to mix up the mulch that we are putting on the trees, and love helping out our little man when he needs it. He loves this teamwork and being involved. heading over to the northwest corner where we've planted our 2 raspberry bushes and our blackberry bush, and just making sure that I've got a lot more mulch around these 2 plants than I previously did at the beginning of the summer. The mulch in this corner didn't seem to last as long. I think that's the wind factor. I will also, in the next few months, aim at putting up the shade cloth for these 2 plants to help protect them a little bit more from the hot sun that we have here in our climate. At this point in time, I have both boys here to help me. There's Mackie, my youngest, who's previously been off screen and has decided to join us. Eddie is still doing another tree with his mini wheelbarrow. They both enjoy not only joining in but also their own little independence when we are playing around in the garden and doing these jobs. And Ned has come home for lunch and will also help for a few moments before we head inside. It is starting to get quite hot, and so we'll be looking at finishing up the orchard tomorrow, as well as other jobs which are a little bit more appropriate for my stage in the pregnancy, as well as for the kids. Okay, so it's gotten way too hot outside. It's currently 39 degrees and humid. We've got an incoming storm that looks like it'll be hitting this afternoon. So we've come inside, the boys and I, and we've continued doing our preserves. So this week we've been doing a fair bit of bolognese sauce, which for us that includes the squash, the zucchini and the tomatoes, which are currently ripe. We've also done tomato relish, chili jam, and some sun-dried tomatoes. So how we manage to look after the 2 kids and the 3rd one on the way and make the prepping and the homesteading side of having our veggie garden and orchard a little bit easier is I have invested in 2 of the Sunbeam slow cookers. So they're 5.5 litres. We also have a dehydrator. So last thing at night, once the kids go down to sleep, we do our fruit prep, we do our fruit and vegetable prep. We'll get these slow cookers going on overnight. We'll also put a batch in the dehydrator and all the ingredients for a loaf of bread in the bread maker. That all processes overnight, and in the morning we're ready to jar or can. And we've also got a nice fresh loaf of bread for in the morning, which is really handy. We can do that at home. We can make it much cheaper than buying gluten-free bread off the shelf, as the boys do have dietary requirements which require gluten-free and dairy-free.